Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Duke Silver and today we're going through rounds 1 and 2 of the community gaming tournament that happened 2 days ago. So this is kind of an interesting tournament format. Basically they have it so the top 4 of each round move on to the next round, and whoever our bottom 4 or the bottom 2 in this case, because we only have a 6-player lobby here, get eliminated and then I guess just get to do whatever. Yeah, so it's kind of nice. I kind of like the elimination aspect because then you don't have the whole stress of like having to win out, which is kind of nice. But yeah, so yeah, this was put on by Community Gaming. You can find them on Twitter at Community Gaming, and it's free. It was a free-to-play tournament with a $1,000 prize pool. So yeah. Anyway, so here's round 1. So the first 2 rounds are each 2 games, and then the semifinals round is 3 games, and the top 8 was 3 games. So it was a 64-player entry, so it just goes down. Like I said, top 4 moves on from each round, and then players are eliminated until you're down to a top 8. Yeah. So yeah, we're playing Gwen here. We lose the first few fights, which is a little unfortunate, but you know, I mean, I think we're actually in a pretty decent spot going into 3.0. We've got a full board. We've still got our knighthood, so we're not getting beat down so badly that we need to fire off the knighthood immediately. I really want this stag in this shop, so I'm gonna sell for it. It gives me a better chance of slaying with my polywoggle in spot 5 rather than in spot 1, because I mean there's a good chance you can get earthquaked or like attacked into. I mean, they're playing 2 dragons up front, but luckily they missed the polywoggle. And also getting the extra toughness on polywoggle matters a lot, because just like right there, it slays and then gets to stay alive and regain its stats, and then I guess the feasting dragon it turned into got to slay. So and yeah, on level 3.1, like a knighthood on a feasting dragon is pretty incredible. And I'm gonna pick up a good witch just to protect the stag, which ends up paying off because it survives the attack because of those extra stats, and we get to get an attack off with it, which allows us to get a slay with the kitty cut purse. So now we've got 3 shop buffs already, which is great. Pretty easy dragon nest there. Like with the feasting dragon already, of course we're gonna just like slam dragon's nest. The baby dragon's got quite a few extra stats there as well. Fortunately, stag gets attacked into, but we should be strong enough to win the fight anyways. Well, we tie the fight anyhow, but we get some pig gold, so that's great. Nine-7 ogre princess is always great. The Hermes boots is also going to give us a great chance to slay with our feasting dragon. Also, we have another polywoggle that's got some extra stats on it, so maybe it'll slay this combat. At this point, with the feasting dragon buffs, like I just want to be just buying, basically improving my board every turn by buying new characters. Getting attack off with the stag is nice. We get another big slay with the polywoggle, which survives and turns into Lancelot. We can pick up the pair ogre princess pair. And there's another ogre princess, so we're gonna triple it into a huge character. 3330 ogre princess is pretty absurd on 4.1. And getting the treasure map out of that means our lance is just going to give us a level 7 treasure. We've got kind of a we're eventually going to get the level 7 no matter what anyways, is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to pick up a 12-12 Medusa because, I mean, once this Feasting Dragon has kind of run its course, then having these the boots means the Medusa is going to slot into slot 1 very nicely. 14-14 Lady of the Lake looks very, very good. Also gives us some extra stats onto Lance. And getting a Feasting Dragon with this Dragon Nest already is pretty nice. Gonna put some extra stats on Lance there to hopefully make sure that it survives any attacks into it and also still gets a slay. The opponent has a lot of stats. Plus a Cat's Call. At 4.2, those Hippocampus are already very, very large, so it's kind of surprising. And here we're very close to finishing the Lance quest, but it's a little too hard to pass up a 17-17 Wombats. And picking up a pair of Wombats here is pretty sweet too. Or picking up the second Wombats, I should say. I'm gonna sell and cast this spell on Lancelot, because if it survives, if it gets to attack and survives its slay, then it's gonna finish its quest this turn. It is going to get to attack and survive its slay, so we have a level 7 treasure next turn. And here it's a pretty easy Excalibur. Mirror is very good as well, but the fact that we're scaling up our shops so much means that Excalibur's just makes our Feasting Dragon that much better. We can really improve our board every turn by a lot bigger factors than we have been already. Picking up a golden Baba Yaga, for instance, is very, very good with this Lance and Feasting Dragon. And we can just pick up a new Feasting Dragon that has more stats, because why not, right? Scale these shops as much as possible. And then once we get to level 6, we can build an absurdly powerful endgame comp. And getting slays from both Feasting Dragons is great. Consider picking up that Friendly Spirit, but the Shoulder Fairies is going to be good enough here. 76 or 72-76 is extremely large. And I consider using the TLK on the Lance here, but I mean, we're level 6 next turn, and literally anything we buy on 6 is going to be bigger than what we kiss into, so it's just kind of unnecessary. Instead, we just sell down and get a much bigger Medusa than we had before. We get all our slays. At this point, the Ogre Princess is just a glorified kitty cut purse because it's not getting us any relevantly sized characters. We can switch heroes. Switch into a Pied Piper. There's still a chance that we can go Good Boy. We see a couple of them in a row and pivot. I'm just going to take a bigger Baba Yaga for now. There's an 84 Hercules, so we're definitely taking that. That's a level 6 treasure for us. And yeah, we're still getting slays every turn, so these feasting dragons can stay in as long as they're scaling. Although we deal 21 to that opponent and knock them out, so let's take a Beginning Stone and add to our shop's size. It's like 5 extra slays with feasting dragons, so why don't we just pick up a couple 72, 68 friendly spirits and a 71 golden wombats. Just an absurd amount of stats. And then if the opponent survives this fight, we'll get 3 gold. So I'm pretty confident that we win here. We've got golden echo wood and a golden pumpkin, but we have just so many stats that they're not, the pumpkin summons are never going to be able to be enough to win here. And yeah, we have enough golden characters to knock them out in one hit. So starting off the tournament pretty good with the first place. And yeah, like I said, the top 4 moves on, so only 2 people are getting eliminated from this lobby. We play the lobby with the same people, just 2 in a row. Yeah, so this hero shop's a little bit awkward. I don't really like playing Trophy Hunter in competitive, although like it can be pretty strong in the mid game. But you have to find the right stuff. It's kind of similar to Geppetto that way. Like Geppetto is a very powerful mid game hero as well if you find the stuff that you want. But none of those other heroes were really that exciting to me. So we go with Trophy Hunter. We're just gonna cycle this egg. We're hoping to hit the Mim, but we get a 3/3 bossy instead. Pretty happy to pick up a Mim pair. Mim's very important on Trophy Hunter. It allows us to get slays with our last breaths and just kind of reach a point where our front line is strong enough to trade with anything. Yeah, we're gonna take a Polywoggle. And I think Polywoggle, for our 3.0 Polywoggle, generally with a Mim has a decent chance to slay, but that Falling Stars kind of ruins us completely. And then taking another Polywoggle is probably wrong. Maybe if there were a pair of Polywoggles and I could have made it golden immediately, but in this spot, I think it's a mistake to take the second one. I mean, like, we just got ruined by Falling Stars. If the next opponent casts the Falling Stars, then we're so far behind. Or if they cast like an Earthquake or something, then things are just not good. And their baby dragon attacks into our Mim, which means our Polywoggle can't slay, and then the second one gets attacked into, and we don't get any slays. We just get kind of ruined in that fight and take a bunch of damage. So at this point, like, I should have just gotten out of these Polywoggles, but I mean, with the first place in the first game, I am locked for the next round already. So these games don't like, this game doesn't really matter that much. But if I'm trying to win, like these polywoggles are just like I should have just abandoned them immediately. I think it's okay to try for the first one on 3.0, but the second one was definitely bad, and just like trying to get these to dragon there. I kind of like having lightning dragon in one when you have a stag in two, because often it'll take damage and trade with whatever's in or whatever's on their back line, and then if you're attacking first, you'll get your stag attack off immediately. But we do find this friendly spirit, which is all right. I don't mind playing a friendly spirit in 5, especially when we can put stats on it with a stag. And then if it manages a slay, then it can go on one of the other backline characters. And we get beat up pretty hard again with a tiger that's found 3 treasures already. So at this point, we're just kind of floundering and in full desperation mode. There's a black cat in that last shop that I think I should have taken, because I'm spending basically all my gold just to try and get as many stats onto this hippocampus as I can. Like I'm gonna sell down and to take this second mouse, and I'm buying these mice literally just to get an extra couple health on the hippocampus. So I think taking that black cat would have been much better than just playing it in slot 3 there. Like I'm not expecting it to, wouldn't have expected it to slay, just to basically scale the hippocampus. It would have been a lot more efficient than what I did here. And yeah, we're gonna play the polywoggle because I feel like we just really need to get lucky to even make anything happen in this game. So the lightning bolt was very stressful. Fortunately, I missed the 2 things that I really wanted it to, and we get the slay with the friendly spirit, and then it flips into a very disappointing shoulder fairies. 117 is definitely not going to help us get out of this game alive. There's another copycat, but I definitely need to like try and cast a combat spell or something, or find some kind of triple here. Otherwise, there's no chance I'm winning any other fights. Find a Cloak of the Assassin off of the tripled stag, which is nice because it gives both our friendly spirits +4 or +3/+3. That's essentially a worm root each, which is fortunate. And I probably should have just taken that spell instead of the polywoggle. That was definitely a mistake. I mean, I bought the polywoggle literally just for the stats on the hippocampus, and the spell is just way more stats. Literally 6 extra stats. We get a slay with the friendly spirit after it got some friendly spirit stats, so that was very good. And here I make a really bad mistake where I don't play this Hermes Magic Beans, which I really should, because it guarantees this copycat attack, which gives us a bunch more stats. We're gonna pick up a siren, because if we can get a bunch of stats on the siren, then that can take a fight by itself. Yeah, we got the triple for the friendly spirit here. We can get a couple more stats at this Moonsong Horn. But yeah, if I'd taken those Hermes Magic Beans, then I guarantee the attack, and now this friendly spirit is worth 60 stats, like 30. It gives something 30/30. So I mean, I still get to attack, but I still think not taking the spell was a mistake. And we get the slay. And then the stats go on to the Siren, and we steal a baby bear, which is nice. Although this opponent already has a golden Bearstein on the 5.0 turn. If attacks had gone just in that last attack, if they'd just gone into the friendly spirit and the Siren had gotten more stats, I think we actually survived that fight. But unfortunately, we get a 6th. But like I said, the first place there was enough to lock up the next round, anyways. So now we're moving on to the round of top 32. And this round, just like the first round, will be out of 2 games. The top 4 will move on. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but the scoring is the same as the regular Storybook Brawl tournaments. Like, you get a 10 for first, 8 for second, 7 for third, 6 for fourth, etc. But yeah, we get a Polywoggle start on the Fates. I don't think I was ever gonna take another hero out of that shop. I'm not sure if that went by a little bit too quickly, but I think I made a mistake there with the Polywoggle, or with the buying the Mim there. If I just bought the Polywoggle, I get to slay immediately because of, I mean, it's a 5/5 and I get to, I got to attack first that turn anyways. But that might be just be hindsight kind of talking, because the Queen of Hearts isn't exactly super exciting at this stage of the game, especially when we don't have a lot of well, we've got a couple evil characters, but it's hard to count Mim when it has 0 attack, just because it's not going to attack in and actually get value out of the Queen of Hearts. Yeah, and we get trounced pretty hard there. And the gold still isn't efficient enough to just fire off the triple here. We did slay with the other Polywoggles, so we have a Brave Princess now. I think, yeah, I'm just gonna take the free roll here. I could have just taken the Polywoggle and maybe put it into, but I wanted to find another evil too. And I mean, I'm not gonna be trying to like find extra Queen of Hearts, so I'll just get another one next turn. But this Ring of Meteors completely ruins our Queen of Hearts plan. There we get the triple. It's a little early for treasure map, so I'm just going to take Haunted Helm. I mean, the closest treasures that we have here are, I mean, we could have gotten a 5 out of the Brave Princess, but I think the Haunted Helm is gonna help us get slays. And I'm just gonna sell for this Water Wraith, just to add another evil character to the board. Fortunately, this Golden Queen of Hearts is of course very, very good compared to a regular Queen of Hearts. The amount of stats that we gain just from these 4 evil characters dying is enough to just carry us through fights. And then we get another look at a treasure map, but I still think it's a little too early. So I'm gonna take the Bad Moon, which it's more of a speculative treasure, just in case we find some other slay characters. Like, we're going into level 4, we could find River Wish Mermaid or like even a Chupacabra with a Bad Moon isn't too bad. Especially since we can support it and put it in the Haunted Helm slot. Again, being carried by this Queen of Hearts. Tempted to take the Lady of the Lake there, but we just want to find more evil characters. This queen is just going to help carry us through the mid game, as long as we keep our board full of evils. I'm a big fan of cookbooks, so that's pretty easy pickup for me. And we're just going to cast a spell on this mummy, which means we don't need to support it. Better to spread out the stats and hope that the Gruff trades with something. They get a pretty fortunate hit with their donkey summon there, but again, our evil queen, or Queen of Hearts, is able to just clean things up and win the fight. Golden copycat in front of the mummy is kind of nice. It would be nice to put some extra stats on the mummy, but even just dealing 4 to 2 different targets randomly is still pretty good. Not including its own activation when it attacks in, or gets attacked into. Definitely want this Sporko. The attack boost is less than the Mim, but the fact that it's ranged makes it obviously much better. Unfortunately, Cupid takes out our mummy immediately before we get our copycat attack off, so a little bit awkward there, but once again, Queen of Hearts stands tall. Yeah, we're gonna get a sarcophagus out of this 3 triple. If we'd found treasure map in that triple, I definitely would have taken it, but unfortunately, I mean, like, sarcophagus is almost as good as treasure map, I think. Just the amount of, I mean, we've already got the full evil board, and the amount of tempo that sarcophagus gives you is just very, very good. Generally, it'll carry you like pretty far through the mid game. And in these lobbies, like, that's all you really like need. You just want to just survive as long as possible. So I think prioritizing treasure map, unless you need to spike a first, then prioritizing tempo over treasure map I think is better, just to secure a higher placement. It's like on ladder, like when you're in higher MMRs, anything below first or second generally is negative, but in tournaments, first, second, third, and fourth are all a lot higher value than bottom 4. And yeah, we're kind of making a transition into scam here. Unfortunately, the Arthur did not scale our Queen of Hearts high enough to allow it to survive the Lightning Dragon hit there, but now we've got another giant golden character that survives on the board. Definitely happy to put extra stats on the apple tree with that Potion Master's Cookbook. This opponent had a fair amount of stats, but still not enough to take down our Queen of Hearts. It's a bit of a weird masquerade ball. I'm not sure I like that in hindsight. Just only getting to see 1/6 and a couple 3s there is just not generally what you want to be doing. We get a really good fight here though. They have a pretty weak board, and our sarcophagus kind of chews them up and spits them out. And now that we're on 6, we're just searching for pumpkins. I definitely don't mind a Boomhilda. And I mean, there's a Hercules with an evil twin in the shop, so that's a little bit tempting, but probably a little too cute. And we rolled past the first Boomhilda, but now that we're down to 6 gold, I'm going to take the second one, because there's just less of a chance that we're going to find anything, so I'd at least like to improve my board somewhat. And the Cupid attacks into the Queen of Hearts, but Queen of Hearts attacks into the 3 big pigs and survives, so pretty fortunate for us there. And we get a draw against another sarcophagus player. So now we're in top 4 situation now, so. And we find a shop with double pumpkins, so. Like we don't have the greatest treasures. We have sarcophagus, but finding 2 pumpkins relatively early on 6 is great. And these 2 royals they've kind of run their course by now, so we can move on from them and replace them with these 2 pumpkins, which are going to add a bunch of power to our board in the form of just random summons and sarcophagus triggers. This second apple tree placement is a little bit weird. I maybe should have sold the Arthur instead and put the evil queen or the Queen of Hearts in slot 6 there, but this opponent is pretty strong. They've got a Princess P with a horn and a good boy already. But they don't have quite enough toughness to take all our summons and sarcophagus triggers. And we get the pumpkin triple. None of these are that appealing. I mean, we're just definitely going to take Wand as a tempo treasure. I considered just cutting the cookbook, but I'm just going to cast this shard on the Arthur and basically hope we get either a Sporko or a Medusa. And we get neither, but that's okay. Still a pretty large vulture, and the big pigs are gonna give it some extra stats as well, so not the worst thing ever. I'm not really sure what I want out of a level 5 treasure here, but I think it's worth locking. Just kind of increases the power of our board overall, and then we can put something else in slot 3 there. And this opponent has not quite fully formed sleigh boards, so we're going to be able to take them out. And the other opponent died to the ghost, I guess, so I mean, I really didn't expect to win on that turn, but like, we'll take it. That's another first place, and as long as we don't get an 8th and something unlucky doesn't happen, then we're probably pretty close to locked for round 3 in top 16. And then we get a Pied Piper. Pied Piper games are always very solid. Just all the extra stats you get in the early game makes it just an incredibly solid hero. Yeah, I figure that I'm not going to win the fight, so I just decide not to cast the Foreglory and get a roll and see if we can do something there. And yeah, we definitely did not win that fight. We got kind of rolled by that Potion Master with the double supported Cinderella. Getting chicken there is really good with the shrink spell, allowing us to just fill up our board some more. And in general, I don't really like egg at all, just because it's such a liability. But when you can get it like as an extra character, like just as like if you're just getting some econ or whatever, and you can it's almost free, then I like it a lot. Just adds so many stats to your board, and then you don't care if you lose it. You don't lose your investment. I kind of want to buy this Ogre Princess, but I think it's more worth it to just buy the double unicorn here with this Ring of Rage that we just picked up. Yeah, we did lock the princess, so, or the Ogre Princess, which is I'm pretty sure we're gonna buy here. Yeah, I like filling up the board and just buying 2 characters here rather than casting the Kiss. I mean, getting a golden 3 is kind of nice as well, but there are quite a few misses, so I'd rather just take the guaranteed value here. And yeah, I like this lock. Like picking up extra mice, I think is a good idea, as well as there's the worm root for the ogre princess. And also there's a stag and a donkey there, depending on, so we can pick one of those up depending. I didn't cast worm root, although, so I think that's a mistake. I feel like worm rooting the ogre princess would have been great. And here we're gonna buy pig. Like we're with the ring of rage, we're very strong, so I think there's a good chance we actually get some value out of this pig. Although this opponent already has horn, coin, rune stones, and a 1311 what do you call it? Court wizard. That's it. Considering just buying this for glory, we've got a bunch of extra stats. If we can get the stag attack off, like we are probably favored to win the fight, but I'm not sure how I feel about this. We don't have any sort of token makers, so taking the hippocampus there feels a little bit weird. Like, I mean, we're gonna see more like chickens and whatnot to potentially get free stats on it, but also we get destroyed by that horde dragon who had to make a wish, so that's not great. Definitely happy to pick up a wombats at this stage of the game. And there's another hippocampus, which I think I'm gonna sell down to get. Again, I'm not entirely in love with that play. Maybe just buying the stag here is better, but I do end up buying the hippocampus. And just hoping that this wombats produces an animal, gives us some scaling. But I mean, even if that happened, our opponent just destroys us with a 88 like huge triply. With they've got Hatball Cookbook and they're just putting stats into that triply. So things are not looking good. We're at 13 now, at 4.2. Definitely gonna play the cat's call and try and scale these hippocampus. Yeah, I feel like these hippocampus were just a huge trap that I fell into. But I mean, at this point we kind of gotta make do. So we're gonna take this vulture. Vulture with the cat's call, the double stag, and the wombats isn't so bad, provided it doesn't get taken out by something. But anyway, we produce an animal with the wombats, and it got extra stats from that friendly spirit. So we're gonna win this fight. And there's the 3 big pigs, which we're pretty happy to see. We'll launder a chicken and pick up this baby bear. And then we have a pretty interesting shop here. We've got a chicken in our animal slot, which we're gonna launder and then just triple up this stag. Unfortunately, none of these treasures are really relevant. We were really hoping for even a power orb would have been nice, but we'll just take the Merlin's hat because it actually does something, and skipping for 2 gold since we're locking wouldn't have done anything for us. We get decent combat RNG, so our pigs fill up, or they have board space to populate the front row there. So we're gonna win this one as well. Also, normally I would like to have the pigs in slot 5, but putting the stag stats onto the wombats seemed a little more like it was going to be a little more important. But it's possible that that's just incorrect. Like, I feel like maybe having the board space for my pigs is going to be more important. I mean, it doesn't really matter there either anyways, but this opponent is very, very large. On 5.1, they've already got Spear, sort of Fire and Ice, and Monkey's Paw. And I mean, they're Gwen, they're not even like Horde Dragon. So, unfortunately, yeah, we take 14, which eliminates us. And we take, I believe it was 6th there. Sorry, the graphics in the way. But yes, with the first place in the first game and the 6th place in the second one, we are, that is enough to move on to top 16 anyways. So fortunately, yeah, we're moving on, and I will have a top 16 video. So the format for this was there's 2 games in the first 2 rounds, and this round of 64 and then round of 32, and then the top 16 is 3 games, and the top 4 move on to top 8, and then of course top 8 is 3 games, and then it's just whoever has the highest points after the 3 games wins, or it's just based on points for your placing in top 8. But yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this, if it was educational at all, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Really helps the channel out, really appreciate it. Feel free to join the Discord. The link is next to my other socials. Feel free to follow me on Twitter as well. And I mean, there's also a Twitch in there. You can follow me there. And one day I will be going live at some point. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow, possibly with the top 16 games, which I'm just gonna do the top 16 games, and also I did make top 8 of this tournament, so I'll have top 8 games as well, but those are gonna be 2 separate videos. So yeah, let me know what you thought. Let me know if like what you would have changed or what plays you would have made in the places, especially in the places where I made mistakes. I would love to hear what you think. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow, either with more tournament games or with something else. Excuse me. Okay, bye.